Let me ask you something. What if I told you that the absolute safest financial move you can make might actually be the riskiest? Today, we're going to dig into the hidden costs of playing it safe, a price you might be paying without even realizing it. Okay, let's just start with this bombshell of a quote. I mean, it sounds totally backward, doesn't it? How can avoiding risk possibly be the riskiest thing you can do? Well, it turns out there's this hidden psychological force that's constantly nudging us towards safety, even when it's costing us big time. And to really see this force in action, let's look at a couple of super simple choices. This is where it gets really fun because I guarantee you're going to feel the pull yourself. Okay, imagine this. I offer you a choice. Option 1. I give you 5,000 rupees. Guaranteed. It's yours. Option 2, we flip a coin. Heads, you win 10,000. Tails, you get nothing. Now be honest, what does your gut tell you to do? If you're like most people, you snag that guaranteed 5,000. It's a sure thing, right? Feels good. But now, watch what happens when we flip the scenario. It gets wild. This time, you have to lose money. You can take a guaranteed loss of 5,000, or you can gamble. A 50% chance you lose 10,000, but a 50% chance you lose nothing at all. All of a sudden, bam, most people's preference flips completely. They go for the gamble. Do you see what just happened? It's this bizarre pattern hardwired into us. We run away from risk when it could help us, but we run towards risk when it could hurt us. This isn't logic, this isn't math, it is pure, unadulterated psychology. So, let's pull back the curtain, shall we? It's time to expose this hidden force that's secretly pulling the strings on our biggest decisions. So, the big question is, why? Why on earth do we have this crazy contradiction built into our brains that makes us act against our own best interests? Well, the answer is deep in our cognitive wiring. It all comes down to a powerful bias called loss aversion. And here's what you need to know. Our brains are literally built to feel the pain of a loss about twice as powerfully as the pleasure of an equivalent gain. Think about it. The sting of losing $100 feels way, way worse than the joy of finding $100 feels good. Yep, it's really that simple. Losing just hurts more than winning feels good. And that powerful emotional imbalance, that's the engine driving all those irrational choices we just saw. It's not about the numbers, it's all about that feeling in your gut. Now, this actually made perfect sense for our ancestors, right? Avoiding a saber-toothed tiger was a little more critical for survival than finding an extra patch of berries. But here's the problem. That ancient software is now running in the modern world, and it's a total mismatch. Because today, any real growth requires us to embrace a little bit of uncertainty. So how does this old survival instinct trip us up today? Well, the consequences aren't small. In fact, the cost of staying in our comfort zone can be absolutely devastating to our long-term goals. And here's the real secret. Loss aversion, it isn't just about the fear of your bank account going down. It's about the deep emotional fear of being wrong, of making a mistake, of feeling regret. That's the feeling we're desperately trying to avoid. And this fear, it paralyzes us. It shows up as inaction. It's that voice in your head saying, don't invest now. What if the market crashes? It's why we stay in a stable but boring job instead of chasing a dream. We tell ourselves we're being cautious, but in reality, we're being controlled by that fear of feeling stupid. The results of all this inaction is what I call invisible loss. See, there's no big, dramatic failure you can point to. It's just the quiet, creeping, day-by-day cost of all the opportunities you never took. This is what that invisible loss actually looks like. That first bar, that's your safe little savings account. Feels cozy because the number doesn't go down. But look at that second bar. That's inflation silently eating your purchasing power. And that giant third bar, that's all the market growth you completely miss out on. That is the true cost of playing it safe. Okay, so this bias is powerful, I get it, but it is not a life sentence. Let's talk about how to spot it, how to manage it, and how to start fighting back against our own worst instincts. I've got a simple 3-step game plan. First, we're going to completely redefine how we even think about risk. Second, we're going to build up our tolerance to it, like a muscle. And third, we're going to make those invisible costs totally visible. Let's start with step 1, Our brain's default question is always, what could I lose if I do this? I want you to literally stop and flip that script. Start asking, what is the guaranteed loss if I do nothing? This simple reframe forces you to see that inaction isn't free. It has a price tag. Next up, let's take baby steps. Your brain freaks out over huge, uncertain leaps, so don't give it one. Invest small amounts every month. Test that business idea on the side before you quit your job. Take calculated steps, not giant leaps of faith. This builds your risk tolerance without triggering all the internal alarms. And finally, step 3. This one's a powerful mental trick. Ask yourself this question and be brutally honest. If I change absolutely nothing for the next 5 years, where will I be? Answering that question shines a massive spotlight on the long-term consequences of comfort, and it makes those invisible losses painfully clear. So as we wrap up, I want this to be your main takeaway. True safety isn't about eliminating every possible risk from your life. It's about understanding that the biggest risks are often the ones you can't even see, the opportunities you let slip by. The decisions that quietly torpedo our potential, they almost never feel dangerous in the moment. No, they feel comfortable, they feel predictable, they feel safe. But over time, that comfort stops being a warm blanket and starts being a cage. And that leaves us with this final thought. The people who truly get ahead in life aren't fearless. They just understand that trying so hard to avoid any possibility of loss is often the surest way to guarantee it. So I'll ask you, what potential losses are you guaranteeing by playing it safe?